Hey guys, I'm AfroGeek PlusUltraNappy and welcome back to a brand new video. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about a horror movie that is kind of not a horror movie, but it is. We are now in the month of October. And like I mentioned on my Facebook, if you keep up, because I put all updates out there on my Facebook page, not every single video you see, but there are going to be some videos where I do some Halloween topics, regardless if it's talking about Batman or horror movies, because there's certain horror movies that I like, but y'all know I don't really fuck with horror movies all that much. But there's some. I'm going to talk about some Halloween themed-ish anime reviews that I got coming out too. I'll be talking to you guys about other series that are kind of like and even maybe a couple like Halloween skits, maybe one or two. But anyway, I'm going to be talking to you guys about a movie that I think is more of a spoof off of the horror, your typical horror genre. Honestly, one of my favorite movies. I don't know how the movie was well received in theaters. All I know is that it took a couple years to finally get released, and I'll explain that in the video. And that film I am talking about is The Cabin in the Woods. It's a 2011 film directed by Drew Goddard, and it was written by him and Josh Whedon, who they both previously have worked on Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel. And so the plot follows a group of college students who go to a remote cabin and they fall victim to basically stereotypical monsters who are being controlled and manipulated by a group who is under a lair. And basically what happens is each year a group of college students goes to these cabins, and these guys in the lab have to sacrifice these college students and give their blood to the gods beneath earth, which is really weird. They need the blood of a typical jock, slut, whatever you want to call, a scholar, the joker, the jester, or the stoner. And the fifth option is, it's optional, but it's like the virgin, who, like I said, is optional. In some cases they allow the virgin to live and escape, but in other situations the virgin ends up getting murdered. The film stars pretty good selection of people. You get Chris Hemsworth playing Kurt, you have Anna Hutchinson playing Jules, Jesse Williams who plays Holden, Fran Kranz who plays Marty, and then you get Christine Colleen, but she plays Dana. I don't know if you could say this movie sucks. Some people would say, oh, this movie's trash, it's not good, but I think it kind of developed a cult classic. Filming took place in Vancouver, British Columbia from March to May of 2009, and the film was supposed to be released on February 5th, 2010, but something with Metro Golden Mayer, there was something that happened where a company filed, or a film production company filed bankruptcy who helped work on the film, and Lionsgate picked it up in 2011 when it was supposed to be released, but then it got pushed back again. And there was some stuff where it was supposed to do some promotional stuff with, I believe it was the video game series Resident Evil. But then that was a whole ordeal. Then there was all these lawsuits with the film. So eventually the film got released April 13th, 2012. I just looked up that the film actually got general positive reviews for the script, its tone, and the cast, which I agree. It's definitely one of those comedy slasher films. Like when you think of like something funny, kind of like how, you know, when you see Scream, how Ghostface will run after the person, he'll trip. It's kind of like one of these things where it's like you get your stereotypical characters, they're set in this situation where they go to this remote cabin, they release these fumes, which is supposed to make them horny as fuck. So you get like the stereotypical deaths, you know, someone gets their head cut off, stabbed through the throat or the chest, people getting beat to death and all sorts of shit. And by far, it is a really good movie. I definitely liked the tone that it took, and I liked that they made this such a spoof off of your typical horror movie. I don't think really has been done before. It's kind of in the way some elements of Scary Movie where they parody off of other horror films, which is something that this does, but it's an actual like horror film at the same time. And I personally loved it. I didn't go see it in theaters. I knew a friend of mine who had it, but I didn't watch it at their house. I got it through work, and I actually enjoyed the film. The way it ended was kind of silly. Some of the cast, it kind of caught me off guard. One, I didn't know Jesse Williams was in Grey's Anatomy. I don't watch Grey's Anatomy, my girlfriend does, and I saw that nigga on there, and I was like, oh shit, that's what's his name from The Cabin in the Woods. And then Anna Hutchinson, I didn't realize it until now, or actually until a couple years ago, but she played the yellow Power Ranger in Power Rangers Jungle Fury. So I thought it was kind of funny that she went from Power Rangers, a kid's show, to a horror film where she almost gets digged down. And then Chris Hemsworth, I was surprised to see in this too, because when you look at Chris Hemsworth, you think of Thor, you know, and so it's kind of like mind-boggling that he was in this movie. And so you get a couple A-list celebrities. Well, I mean, Jesse Williams, I guess you consider an A-list celebrity. Chris Hemsworth is definitely an A-list celebrity. So I think my favorite scene from that fucking film, oh my gosh, is when they try to escape, right? They try to escape, but they're like, oh shit, there's this cliff and the other opposite side we'd be able to get through, but we can't make it from here. Kurt, who's played by Chris Hemsworth, is like, yo, I'm gonna ride my motorcycle, I got this. So this is after Jules dies, because Jules is the first one to die. She gets decapitated by a zombie, like a hick hillbilly zombie. That, I want to say Kurt left that bitch, bro. He was like, I'm out, peace. So he tries to warn everybody, and so they all end up escaping. And I want to say the stoner Marty, right off the bat, knew something was up. Right before they even got there, bro, he knew something was up right off the bat and was like, hey y'all, I think we should leave, something ain't right. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Kurt ends up riding his motorcycle, and he's like, I know I can make this jump. So he rides his motorcycle and he's up in the air, and everybody's like, holy shit, Kurt's gonna make it. He can get help. Oh my gosh, he can send help to come get us. And then out of nowhere, it's just like, and then it's like in this invisible wall, just, and Kurt crashes into that wall, and everybody's like, you just see him like tumble off like this virtual like invisible wall, just tumbles down to his death. And you know, laughing at people's deaths isn't funny whatsoever. It's really not, but it's the way he went out. And I felt like when they wrote this film that I think they purposely were trying to make that shit funny. That shit does not happen in a horror movie. That shit does not fucking happen, which is why I thought it was so absurd and so ludicrous and so funny. So I always laugh whenever I see that scene. So in reality, it's like Marty's not there. Marty ends up getting dragged away by hillbilly family. So for part of the film, you think stoner nigga Marty's dead. Holden and Dana, they're driving back, and they're like, okay, I don't know what we're gonna do. We gotta find a way out of here. And then out of nowhere, this like scepter thing like goes through Holden's neck while they're driving, and Dana's just like, and the RV crashes in the river. So Dana's like about to get dragged back in the river, and then Marty comes up out of nowhere all covered in blood and just kills the zombie, just smashes a zombie to death. So Marty's like, look, this place is being remotely controlled. Look, and so he pulls open this thing of grass, and they find this underlayer lab, which holds like a bunch of different monsters in like cubicles, in like glass cubicles, and it's the weirdest fucking thing. And so they release the monsters, and the monsters start attacking everybody. Like they just start attacking everybody in the lab, and everybody's dying. What happens is they end up in this underground area with underneath that lab, in this underground kind of cave area, where this woman in charge is telling Dana to shoot Marty, right? But she's just like, no, I'm not gonna kill him. And she's like, girl, if you don't kill him and sacrifice him to the demon gods down below, we're all gonna die. Earth and everybody, you know it. And you know is going to fucking die. The demons will be released and kill everybody. She's like, I don't fucking care. So the two end up fighting, everybody fights and shit, and then Dana ends up shooting the woman, and she falls to her death. The place is starting to crash, and Marty and Dana come to terms that they're going to die. And so they're just like, well, this is it. And so what do? They share a blunt. Not kidding you. They share a fucking blunt and laugh about how they ended up in this situation. And they get crushed to death because obviously the place is caving in. Big old hand, which I think is supposed to be Cthulhu, ends up coming out from the ground. You just see his big ass hand come up, and then it just whoosh, and it goes like that, and the hand like covers screen, everything goes to black, and basically the demon monsters are released. And that's how the movie ends. I just kind of spoiled it, so hopefully I put some kind of disclaimer. If you didn't care and you made it through the video and you want to watch this at first hands, watch it. I kid you not, this is probably like one of my favorite movies of all time. It is so funny. It has like a blend of everything when it comes to comedy and horror, and it's just so good. It's really good. But anyway, guys, that is it for the video. I just wanted to share with you guys like this kind of horror movie that I thought kind of fit for the month of October that you guys might like. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you didn't, then I guess hit the dislike button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the bell to get notified on all my videos. You can hit the all video, you can hit the all option to get notified whenever I upload videos, period, or you can hit the personalized option to get notified whenever I upload every other video. Check out my links to my social media in the description below. I'm talking Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon. If you want to become a tier member and get awesome rewards, check out my Patreon. It will help me in the future with this channel and help make bigger and better videos. But what you guys do by liking the video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel is just as good. And if you want to see more of me, you can check out my main channel, which is also in the link in the description below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I am AfroGeek PlusUltraNappy, and your boy is just